Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be Hairy Muppet, and we are going to be casting the second semi-final for the HomeStory Cup number 7 down in the bottom left side of the map. We do have TLO, our blue Zerg player, and up in the top right side of the map we do have TaeJa, our red Terran player. And let's just talk for a sec about how these guys did in the quarter-final. Now, TaeJa went up against Seed, Protoss player, and they had a few very awesome games, but TaeJa managed to win 3 games in a row using some nice early defense tactics, some nice triple M, and actually busting the ghosts out in the 3rd game. I think he actually had quite an insane amount of ghosts. Yeah, so that was pretty awesome. And down the bottom left side, TLO. In his quarterfinal, he went up against Violet, another Zerg, so it was a nice Z for Z matchup. And TLO just won mostly during roaches. Using roaches, sorry. He did drop the 2nd game to Violet when Violet went for a massive amount of mutas and managed to make it work. But he did win the 1st, 3rd and 4th game, all using roaches, and went on to get into the semi-finals. So now it is going to be TaeJa versus TLO. And yeah, Terran versus Zerg. We haven't seen one of these in this tournament so far, but of course, Terran versus Zerg, always a very awesome matchup. So we're just going to have to see what happens here. We've got a hatchery coming down before the spawning pool, so 14 hatch. fairly good timing for that sort of stuff. He's not going to be worried about the Terran player going in nice and early, doing some early pressure. He actually, no, scratch that. He may be worried about roaches, not roaches, reapers. He may be worried about reapers a little bit, but yeah, luckily for him, Terran player choosing to go for a command center before barracks. So it's a little bit risky where against the Zerg player, because the Zerg player could get out lings very quickly. But I guess both of these players know that neither player is really a fast harassment sort of player. But yeah, I mean, TaeJa's got to move out his SCV, going to do a scout. He's going to see the hatchery's already up at around the 4-minute mark by the time his SCV gets over there. And yeah, if TaeJa does lose this game, man, he is probably going to be thinking early Reaper next game, just to counter this very aggressive hatchery build from TLO. And yeah, I mean, TLO may be thinking something similar for the next game. If he loses this game, he'll go for a very early harass on that very early Terran command center. But finally getting some lings out here just in time to gather the SCV. So the SCV, he already knows exactly what buildings TLO has just from that quick scout. I don't know if he even needed to go all the way to the spawning pool to see that it was up. And there's really no way that you could not have a spawning pool at that point in the game, and it would just be suicidal not to have one. And there we go. So the SCV is going to run off, 1 ling and another ling coming in. So they're going to do a bit of harassment, but there is 1 marine up and a 2nd one coming out, so that should be fine. Yeah, TLO most likely going to see this factory though, and he's going to see this reactor coming out if he runs these lings in. So yeah, he's going to know that it is going to be Hellions coming in for a bit of a harassment, but that's only if he runs his lings in. And with 2 marines, actually with 2 marines, I'm not sure if he'll manage to get up the ramp to see that stuff. It's looking a little bit less likely. What have we got going on here? Just queens all over the place. It's going absolutely nuts and creeping all over the place. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. Speed coming down, but he's mainly just working on his drone production. You can see he's got a little bit of a gap, which is exactly where he wants to be. He hasn't got a fairly big gap though. Usually he'd be about 5 or 6 in front of the Terran player, but TaeJa did dead his command center down quite early, and that is why he's keeping up with the Zerg player in terms of economy. But we do have a Roach Warren on the way. TLO doing some great work with roaches in the quarter-final, but that was against a Zerg player. Against a Terran player, it's a little bit harder. You've got Marauders and you've got tanks. Both of them very good with dealing with roaches, and the roaches are not very good at dealing with them. But right now we just got Hellions coming out. So the SCV coming out, he's warded off the lings, I suppose. The Hellions are going to come out right after it. He's choosing just to go in with 2 at the start. And what has the Zerg player got going on? He hasn't got a gate, So he's going to have a lot of trouble stopping these Hellions from getting in and doing what they want to be doing. They're just checking for expansions right now, or that SCV was anyway, and I think he's just going to run straight through. Maybe wait for some reinforcements before doing that. He's got to do it quick though, because once a decent amount of roaches get out in the field, the Hellions are just going to be useless. There's about 3 or 4, but they're actually running north now, or some of them are. These ones are coming down, chasing the Hellions away, but it looks like they're going to meet around the other side and maybe have a 6, 8, 10 roach push. And this is going to be very, very early roach push actually. Do not know if TaeJa is going to have enough to deal with this. He spent so much on his Hellions, but look at this. Banshee on the field, man. Talk about some crazy plays. Haven't seen a factory into Banshee for quite some time, but there we go. It is going to happen, and I don't think this was in response to the roaches. I think he just was planning to get a Banshee all along, but it's turning out to be a good idea for him because the Banshee is going to be chasing these roaches away all over the place. But TLO does have him in a kind of contain, and he's not even worrying about the Banshee at the moment, although there is another one coming out. So another couple of Banshees will mean that these roaches are just going to get wiped out so fast. We do have one Marauder in here, and a couple of Marines, so it might be enough, but the Baneling's coming in on the bunker, and good job there getting him out, but now the Lings are going to come in. The second bunker is going to go down very, very quickly. He needs to get his Hellions back to deal with all of these Lings, and yeah, the Roach is trying to stop them as they come through, but not going to be able to. Hellions coming in, all of the Lings are just going to get roasted here, and hopefully you can save some Marines and Marauders to deal with these Roaches, because right now he's in a lot of trouble. Where the hell? There's the Banshee. He's going to be hitting a lot of Roaches, but the second Banshee is out as well, so he should be able to clean this up. He's going to lose a lot of workers though, and Ling reinforcements just coming back in. All of the Hellions are dead, I believe. He's trying to get this gate up. The Lings are just going to go absolutely nuts, and the Banshee's finishing off the Roaches, but this supply depot is just about to go down, and the Lings try and run through the gap, but there's just not enough of them left. The Hellions doing a great job from this top ground at taking them out, and TLO really, really pushing up the pressure, but TaeJa proving that he has got what it takes to actually push it back, and he's actually going for a bit of attack on this one. Not really going to do much because he can just lift that up whenever he wants. And he's starting to get the the Marauder numbers up. Starting to do some damage on the Roaches, and once he really starts to beef up his Marauder numbers, he's going to be in a good position to counter this major Roach harass. The Banshee just coming out here doing some stuff. Spore Crawler's going up all over the place though, so they just managed to snipe that Queen, and a couple of workers may go down. I do not think he's researched Cloak though, so he probably thought it wasn't worth it at this point, because yeah, I mean the Zerg player is going to have Spore Crawlers all over the place, so Cloak is not going to give him anything, and he's doing a fly around, and he must be quite surprised that there is no third base down for the Zerg player yet. The Zerg just doing a lot of harass off 2 bases. Hasn't gone in for a third base yet, manages to get one of the Banshees. This Queen is going to go down, and these 2 Banshees are going to finish off the other Queen, or just do some workers right here. And yeah, some Queen reinforcements coming out, so he's doing a great job of keeping the Banshees away, but at the same time he's lost like 2 or 3 Queens, so not good for him at all. And TaeJa just trying to keep this expansion from getting taken out. Meanwhile, of course, we do have a Spire coming down for TLO. So getting out some Mutas will be a great counter for what TaeJa has now. He is getting a bunch of Marines out though. He hasn't done much Marine production so far, but he's definitely pushing them out now. And we are going to see some tanks as well. An Armory. I can only assume that the Armory is for upgrades. I don't know whether he'd be going for Hellbats or Thors. Maybe. I mean, if he's going for full mech play, he might be doing that, but the fact that shields are coming out indicates he's probably not going for full mech play. And 2 more barracks here, so he's definitely going for triple M of some sort. So we'll need to work on his Marines. And this Banshee, man, managing to kill all the Queens, and some has 8 kills, man. Half of them are probably Queens, so that's a really, really awesome job there. They're sniping out some Overlords all over the place. This base constantly getting attacked, man. This Roach is, yeah, it's got a little bit stuck there. That's fine. A nice, very nice force coming in here to snipe this hatchery out. So great pressure there from TaeJa, man. Really keeping on top of this hatchery situation. TLO was quite late in getting out his third base, and he's starting to get it now, but TaeJa is in a good position to deny that third base, and that is exactly what he's doing. And now he's going to push in a little bit. I'm not sure about this, because the mutas around this base, and he's got quite a lot of Marines, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe he'll do some good stuff here. TLO doing some nice micro to save some of his mutas, but there's only 2 Marines left, and these guys are just going to die now. Yes, I'm not sure if I agree with pushing in there. I mean, he did some good damage, but it might have been a bit better just to pull his forces back, just concentrate on keeping his third base alive, and on constantly hitting the Zerg's third base, like constantly stopping him from getting a third base. But yeah, now, after having lost that army right over here, he's given the Zerg a chance for a bit of a breather. And yeah, the Zerg can get his shit together, get a third base up with a little bit more security. Although TaeJa does have this force up and running, he's getting up here, he's going to be in a position to defend. But the muta's going in for this base. He's only got 1 missile turret up, and that might be enough to scare it off, but maybe not. He's just looking for the sweet spot to actually attack things, getting a reactor, so that's TaeJa's just like, meh, whatever, I'll just rebuild it again. The muta's just going to fly around looking for weak spots, but there are missile turrets. Not a major amount of missile turrets, but oh, that was a good spot to take that tank out. But the Marines on the bottom ground can still see some of them. They're going to fly in. No missile turrets at the main base. This is a major mistake. There's only one over there, but it's not in range of these mutas. He really needs to get stuck into this missile turret production. He's starting to get some Widow Mine tech down. Well, that's always a good thing. A few Marines over there are going to chase these guys away, but they're going to snipe off the other tank as they fly away. And some great job there by TLO, getting some beautiful snipes on those tanks, trying to scope out the weak points in TaeJa's defense and doing a pretty good job of it. The Marines are just running all over the place, but now they are going to be going in. They're going to try and do some damage. TLO does not have any baneling, and he does not have any creep spread, so he's going to have a lot of trouble doing anything, and that was just a brilliant Widow Mine hit there. 11 kills, and that may all have just been with that one shot. And there, TLO gives the GG. He's not happy with how he's doing so far, and the fact that he was just about to lose this base pretty much spelled the beginning of the end for him. So he figured, alright, gonna lose this base, might as well concede the win here and see if I can do a better job in game 2. So congratulations to TaeJa for really doing some very aggressive expanding and making it work, and really putting the pressure on TLO's third base and making it work. Because yeah, TLO, he did a fairly good job with mutas, but unfortunately Marines counter mutas, and he didn't really have an answer for the Marines. You can see he was starting to morph in some banelings, and given another couple of minutes, I think he would have had a very nice baneling force to go out there and really complement the mutas. But yeah, TaeJa, man, keeping the pressure on, getting his army back up and constantly hitting that third base, did a really good job. And even that beautiful harassment that TLO did over there could not stop TaeJa from moving in here and really doing the damage. So congratulations to TaeJa for winning game 1. It's not easy to beat a Zerg player, but he has done it, and good on him. So congratulations to TaeJa, and we are going to see what happens in game number 2. Will TaeJa continue to build the momentum and maybe go to a 3-0 lead, or will TLO get back and do some awesome damage? I'm betting on TLO because he knows about that really early command center from TaeJa now, and he is going to punish him next game, unless TaeJa changes that and goes like an early Reaper or something, I don't know. But we'll check it out in game number 2. Thank you very much for watching. This has been Hairy Muppet.